How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the series. This is episode 2 of Why I Love Photography, and as the last video you saw that I talked about portraits, this one, as you can tell from the title, I'll be talking more about street photography and documentary as well. If you're new to the channel, my name is Colin Dizia. Go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe to the channel as well. Keep you posted on more videos coming soon in the future. But before I get into talking about like some of the photos I have in these two different genres, I want to talk about my inspiration in street and documentary photography. And a lot of it comes from the world-renowned and award-winning photographer Gordon Parks. He was very essential in depicting the black narrative throughout his career from the 40s into the early 2000s, and especially during civil rights when he was just capturing the experience, the life, and really showing raw and candidly what was going on for African Americans in the United States during that time. So I really respected his work in that regard, and also just for him as a creator. He did a lot of things outside of photography. He was a musician, a writer, as well as film director, and so he utilized a lot of things to capture very candid moments, very intentional and raw moments in history and in his own life too. So a lot of my work and what I aspire my work to be is I think a great result of Gordon Parks and what he did throughout his career. So I just kind of wanted to give a brief mention to him, pay some homage to him, and kind of give some context for my photos and kind of like my work too as well. And so yeah, I think we're just going to kick it off right now with the street photos and what I like about doing street photography in general, because I think doing street photography, it forces you to be sensitive to a lot of things that are going on around you, like what's directly in front of you. It kind of shifts you from thinking at a macro level to thinking micro to like what's directly in front of you. And so every time I go to shoot street photography, I feel like I'm very sensitive to like what's going on. Like I walk into a place or I walk to a certain location and I like feel like there's a photo here, or there's something here that needs to be captured, or moments, or that feeling that I feel. So all that kind of comes into play for me when I go do street photography. And so whether there's people or not in my photos, I think the one thing I do want to remain constant is like there is a feeling that you feel, or a story, emotion that's like mixing up in the photo. And so that's kind of like my aim, and what I like the most about street photography and documentary photography. I feel like there's more times where I feel more emotion looking at these photos than looking at like a portrait of someone like crying, you know. And so I think that's what I like about these genres. It's really flexible for you to shoot whatever you want, but I just like those candid moments that I've captured. And so I think in the photos that I'll show, I kind of just give like a little box next to them of like the context where they're at. But the first one I want to talk about is this man with a cigarette. This is, you know, I have my camera like right next to my hip. I didn't want him to know I was taking this picture, so I just kind of prayed. I captured this picture and got those 2 frames. I think out of the bunch I took, those were the 2 that I wanted. He just has this you know, this feeling on him. He's just wearing it on his face, very unapologetic of who he is and of how he's feeling at that moment. And it's very cinematic like for me. I think it's just like 2 frames out of a scene that's going on, and that's what I really enjoy these two pictures in specific. And then the next picture is you see this man just putting on a sock. It's just one of those things that, you know, I didn't really know what was going on in this picture until I looked back at my camera. Most of the time when I'm taking street photography, like I said, I want the candid moment. So I really don't want people knowing that I'm taking a picture. So I'm just, you know, having that burst mode, or just clicking and praying that these pictures are here. And so this is like one of the ones I really enjoyed looking through after that day, and that's kind of what I like. It's just giving you a real perspective of what goes on the street, and the perspective of other people's lives too. See and that's the same one with this following picture. The same thing, you know. It's just when you look at street photos, if you look at a picture in general, there's always a story there that people interpret. And so I think with the street photos, I kind of want to give you a story, or have you be curious of what the story is for this person, this location, this thing, that or for the subject in general. And yeah, I think for the last picture, this was when I was in Austin. I do like the black and white photo for this. It's just kind of like a picture of a man in the lobby. It kind of looks like he's on a mission of some sort. I really enjoy this picture for just how minimal it is. Again, the black and white, the lines and everything. It's just one of those moments that, you know, I just kind of felt like would be something, and just took it. And yeah, I think for both street and documentary photography, I just like how they have a timelessness to them. They could have been taken yesterday or 50 years ago. Granted, you might have some context of what's going on in the picture, but for the most part, there is a real timelessness to these photos that I really enjoy looking through and capturing, like myself, when I'm going out to take photos. And so I think that's it for street photos. Let's move into documentary photography. And I think I like documentary photography. I think a lot of people may like it because it's something that everyone does, from, you know, just being a phone photographer, like, or being a daily user of your phone and taking pictures, to being a full-time photographer that everyone's documenting something in their own life at some scale. And that's what I like about kind of like this genre. It's a good way to capture and interpret the life, your life actually. And so, like, capturing the moments of things that are going on in your personal life, or things that are going on in the current world before you. We see a lot of things like photojournalism, that just painting pictures of the narrative that's going on in the time currently. Really trying to inform people maybe of what other things that are going on. In other ways, it could just be for nostalgia, sentimental reasons, personal reasons. You're just capturing this moment because it's there. And I kind of like a little bit of both. We've seen a lot of things with in our recent time with police brutality, civil unrest, protests. All these things are things that people want to document for the sake of history. And so we'll kind of dip and dabble a little bit into the two of those for the photos I've taken in my own personal life. You know, there's a lot of things I wanted to capture and felt that I should capture, that may be momentous occasions or things in my life, and definitely, you know, I'd want to capture those. And so I think for the two examples, I put them up here, these black and white images. This is of a probate I had during my undergrad and college. And so it's one of those things that, you know, you never want to forget being a part of just like the work that you put in personally. And then on the other spectrum of documentary photography, I kind of have more archival photos of like historical sites. So this was when I went on a trip and saw the Lorraine Motel and in the Central Little Rock 9 school, yes. So the Lorraine Motel, was the hotel Martin Luther King was shot at. And so kind of seeing that in person was something else. And taking the picture, I felt like I just always have this moment with me. And I still have the same feeling of looking at it than I do looking at it from the picture. And also the school as well. I have the Little Rock Central High School, again, where we had the first 9 African American children trying to go into school, and we're greatly in opposition from the school and the county as well, or the whole state, matter of fact. So those are definitely two things I want to capture for the sake of having them and seeing them in person, but also just to kind of have, just in my collection of photos or memories, I would say. But yeah, I think this is coming to the end of the video. This is concluding episode 2 of Why I Love Photography, with street and documentary as the genres. Thank you all for tuning in. Like I said, if you're new, go ahead, subscribe, like, and comment down some videos that you want to see more in the future. I appreciate all the support from everybody and the love that you all continue to show to me towards this channel. And so I have a lot more projects and updates coming soon that I want to give you all. So follow me on Instagram for those. in the link below. And so as for Gordon Parks and anything I mentioned in this video, I'll leave some links to that if you want to check it out on your own time. But yeah, that's all I got. So as always, my people, nos vemos and ciao.